You know that feeling when you wake up and everything you thought you knew about your team just completely shifted overnight? I'm sitting here looking at the standings, looking at the box scores, and I can't help but think about how fast things change in this league. 15 wins and 4 losses. That's where we are right now. But here's the thing nobody's really talking about in the way they should be. Those numbers tell a story that's way bigger than just wins and losses. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where I bring you the real inside scoop, the breaking developments, and the honest analysis of everything happening with our beloved purple and gold. I'm here to cut through the noise and give you exactly what you need to know about the Lakers, straight up, no filter. If you're passionate about this franchise like I am, you're in the right place because today we're diving deep into something that's going to define the next chapter of Lakers basketball. Before we get into the heart of this, I need you to do me a favor. If you're watching this and you care about getting the fastest updates, the most detailed breakdowns, and the kind of content that actually respects your intelligence as a fan, hit that subscribe button right now. We're building something special here, and I want you to be part of this community that lives and breathes Lakers basketball every single day. Now, let me paint you a picture. The Lakers just came off a dominant performance against the New Orleans Pelicans this past Sunday. The energy at Crypto.com Arena was electric, the execution was crisp, and the result was exactly what we needed. But as I watched that game, something stood out to me that's been building for weeks now. The dynamic on this court has fundamentally changed, and I'm not sure everyone has fully processed what that means yet. Austin Reeves has been absolutely sensational this season. I'm talking about a legitimate breakout that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming to this extent. The kid is averaging career-high numbers across the board, making clutch plays in the fourth quarter, and showing the kind of basketball IQ that you simply cannot teach. He's become one of the most reliable players on this roster, and watching him operate in the pick-and-roll, seeing him create for others, witnessing his defensive improvements, it's been nothing short of remarkable. This isn't just a hot streak. This is a player who has elevated his game to a completely different tier, and that matters tremendously for where this franchise is headed. Then we have the elephant in the room that changed everything. February. Remember February. That was when the entire basketball world stopped and stared at their phones in complete disbelief. The trade that sent shockwaves through every arena, every locker room, every media outlet across the league. Anthony Davis, our defensive anchor, our secondary star, heading to Dallas. And in return, we received Luka Doncic. 26 years old, already an MVP candidate, already considered one of the 5 best players on the planet, and already making Lakers fans forget just how painful it was to watch AD walk out that door. I'll be honest with you. When that trade happened, I had mixed emotions. We all did. AD gave us everything, including that championship run that will forever be etched in Lakers history. But management saw something that not everyone understood immediately. They saw a window. They saw an opportunity to build around a generational talent who's still in his prime, who has at least another decade of elite basketball ahead of him. And from a strategic standpoint, as painful as it was, it made sense. Luka hasn't just fit into the Lakers system. He's transformed it entirely. The way he controls pace, the way he manipulates defenses, the way he creates high-percentage looks for everyone around him, it's been masterful. We're seeing vintage Lakers basketball again, that beautiful blend of individual brilliance and team execution that makes this franchise special. The chemistry between Luka and Austin Reeves has been particularly impressive, and I genuinely believe we're watching the foundation of something that could dominate the Western Conference for years to come. The Lakers are currently sitting at 15 wins and 4 losses. Let that sink in for a moment. In a conference that's absolutely brutal, where every night presents a legitimate challenge, this team is thriving. The offensive rating has improved, the defensive schemes have adapted beautifully to Luka's strengths, and the overall flow of games has been exactly what you want to see from a championship-caliber squad. This isn't fool's gold. This isn't a mirage. This is real, sustainable success that's built on young talent, smart basketball, and a clear vision for the future. But here's where things get complicated, And this is the part I need you to really pay attention to because it affects everything moving forward. Load management, rest days, strategic absences. We've been seeing more and more games where certain players aren't on the active roster, where the coaching staff is being incredibly careful about minutes, where long-term health is being prioritized over short-term availability. That Pelicans game I mentioned earlier. Yeah, we were missing someone significant from the lineup. LeBron James sat out Sunday's game, left leg soreness. The official term being used is load management, and at 41 years old, dealing with sciatica issues that have been bothering him throughout the season, it makes complete medical sense to be cautious. The man has played more minutes than almost anyone in NBA history. His body has been through 2 decades of punishment at the highest level. So when the training staff says he needs rest, I understand the logic behind it. But here's the deeper question that's been circulating around league circles, and this is where things get really interesting. Stephen A. Smith, love him or hate him, he's one of the most connected voices in basketball media. He went on the Joe and Jada podcast recently and said something that's been stuck in my head ever since. He acknowledged that LeBron, even at 41, even dealing with sciatica, can still come back and average over 20 points per game. The skill is still there. The basketball genius is still there. The ability to impact winning is still there. But then Stephen A. dropped the real bombshell. He said that if the Lakers had their choice, if they were looking at this situation from a pure basketball operations perspective, they would trade LeBron James. Not because his game has fallen off dramatically, not because he can't contribute, but because of age, because of timeline. Because when you have Luka Doncic at 26 years old, when you have Austin Reeves breaking out, when you're trying to build something that lasts for the next 8 to 10 years, having a 41-year-old player, no matter how great he is, doesn't align with that vision. Stephen A. specifically mentioned that the Lakers want young talent around Luka. They want players who can grow together, who can develop chemistry over multiple seasons, who can be part of a sustained championship window. And as much as we all respect what LeBron has done, as much as we acknowledge his place in basketball history, the reality of professional sports is that teams have to make difficult decisions based on where they're headed, not where they've been. This is the first time in LeBron James's entire 2-decade career that he's not the undisputed number 1 option on his team. Think about that for a second. From his days in Cleveland as a teenager to Miami with the Big Three where he was still the primary star, back to Cleveland for that historic championship, and then to the Lakers where he's been the face of the franchise since 2018. He's always been the guy, the alpha, the leader, the one everything runs through, but not anymore. Luka Doncic is the present and the future of this organization, and everyone in that locker room knows it. Now, I want to be crystal clear about something because I know emotions run high when we talk about legends like LeBron. This isn't about disrespect. This isn't about diminishing what he's accomplished. The man is one of the greatest basketball players to ever live. What he's done for the Lakers, including that 2020 championship, will never be forgotten. But sports are a business, and businesses have to make decisions that position them for long-term success. The Lakers flew high without LeBron earlier this season. They won games, they looked cohesive, they executed at a high level. That's not an indictment of LeBron's abilities. It's simply a statement of fact that this roster, as currently constructed, can function and thrive with Luka as the centerpiece. Austin Reeves has proven he can be a secondary star. The role players have found their rhythm in this system. The defensive schemes work. Everything that needed to fall into place has fallen into place. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave LeBron James and his future with the Lakers? I think we need to have an honest conversation about possibilities here. Could the Lakers look to move him before the trade deadline? It's possible. Would another contender jump at the chance to add a player of his caliber even at 41? Absolutely. Teams that are one piece away from a championship would line up for that opportunity. Could LeBron decide to retire as a Laker regardless of his role? That's also on the table. Or does he finish out this season, assess his health, assess his desire to continue playing, and make a decision next summer? All of these scenarios are realistic. What I find most interesting is that through all of this, through the trade speculation, through the changing dynamics, through the reduced minutes and load management, LeBron has shown he can still play at a high level alongside Luka and Austin when he's on the court. That's actually great news for the Lakers in the short term. It means they have depth. It means they have veteran leadership. It means in playoff situations, when rotations tighten and experience matters, they have someone who's been through every possible scenario imaginable. But basketball is also about timing. It's about building for sustained success. It's about making sure your championship window stays open for as long as possible. And when you have a 26-year-old superstar who's already in his prime, you build around that. You commit to that. You make decisions that maximize that timeline. That's not cold-hearted. That's smart basketball operations. The dust has settled from that blockbuster trade back in February. Luka Doncic is absolutely balling out in purple and gold. The MVP conversations now include a Lakers player at the very top of the list. The highlight reels every night feature our franchise player doing things that make you jump out of your seat. The future is bright. The future is exciting. The future is right now. And here's what I'm most optimistic about as we look ahead. This Lakers team with Luka at the helm, with Austin Reeves continuing his ascension, with a supporting cast that fits perfectly around their skill sets, can compete for championships for the next decade. Not just this year, not just next year, but for a sustained period where we're legitimate contenders every single season. That's the kind of success that dynasties are built on. That's the kind of consistency that creates multiple championship opportunities. We're 15-4 right now. The Western Conference is wide open. The Lakers have legitimate championship aspirations this season. Whether LeBron is part of that journey through June or whether changes happen before then, I truly believe this organization is set up for success. Management made bold moves. They took calculated risks. They positioned this franchise for both immediate contention and long-term dominance. And as a fan, as someone who lives and breathes Lakers basketball, that's exactly what I want to see. So here's my question for you, and I genuinely want to hear your thoughts on this. How do you feel about the LeBron situation? Do you think the Lakers should keep him through the end of the season regardless of fit? Should they explore trade options if the right deal presents itself? Do you believe LeBron can accept a reduced role and still be effective? And most importantly, are you excited about this new era with Luka Doncic as the face of the franchise? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love having these conversations with you because that's what being part of Lakers Nation is all about. This is a pivotal moment in franchise history. We're watching the transition from one era to another happen in real time. It's bittersweet, it's emotional, but it's also necessary. Great organizations make tough decisions. Great organizations plan for the future while competing in the present. And the Lakers, despite all the noise, despite all the speculation, despite all the challenges, are positioned exactly where they need to be. Before I let you go, I need you to do 3 things for me. First, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit that button right now. We're dropping content every single day with the latest news, the deepest analysis, and the kind of breakdowns that you won't find anywhere else. Second, turn on those notifications so you never miss an upload. When big news breaks, when trades happen, when game-changing developments occur, you'll be the first to know. And third, share this video with every Lakers fan you know. We're building a community here of people who care about this team as much as we do, and the bigger we grow, the better content I can create for you. The Lakers are in an incredible position right now, 15-4. Luka Doncic playing at an MVP level. Austin Reeves emerging as a legitimate star. A clear identity on both ends of the floor. And a front office that's shown they're willing to make bold moves to keep this franchise competitive. This is exactly what Lakers basketball should look like, and I'm here for every single moment of it. I'll be back tomorrow with more updates, more analysis, and more of everything you need to stay connected to your team. Until then, keep believing, keep supporting, and remember that purple and gold runs through our veins. This is Lakers News Fan Report, and I'll catch you in the next one.